Hi, I'm Frankie. I'm a Microsoft Azure MVP, and I'm here to teach you how to build an Azure AI agent in 4 steps. Before we get into it, we need to know what is an Azure AI agent. If we don't have shared definitions, we can't talk about the same thing. So, an Azure AI agent is defined by the 3 terms that make up it. In Azure is just Microsoft's global cloud computing platform used to build, store, and run software applications. Artificial intelligence, which can be summarized as just a complex computer algorithm that simulates human intelligence. And an agent, a person or a thing that takes actions on your behalf. We can combine Azure AI and agent to create our Azure AI agent definition, which is just a complex computer algorithm that simulates human intelligence that takes actions on your behalf, developed and or hosted on Microsoft Azure. That's a mouthful, so we can simplify it even further by just saying an AI agent developed or hosted on Microsoft Azure. This is what an Azure AI agent is. If you want to build it, you can save time with all kinds of workflows and tasks that normally humans would do. But now in this new world of AI, we can build agents that can do those actions for us, save time. It's tremendously helpful, and it's all about getting an ROI so that we can do more things, do more tasks, solve more problems, because we have agents now that are able to augment our work by taking the repetitive tasks, the mundane tasks that we don't want to do off our plate, so that we as individual contributors, leaders in organizations, business owners, executives, all can get more work done in less time. The 4 steps to building an Azure AI agent are the following. 1, setting foundations. This is where you need to decide what is my use case, what model am I going to use. You have to have some sort of AI model that's going to be the brains for your agent. What are the instructions that I'm going to set up for my agent so that it behaves the way I want it to? I need to think about the specific problem I'm trying to solve and the specific use case that goes along with that problem and the solution that comes with that use case. You want to consider the knowledge that you're going to make available to your agent. What type of data does it need to have? This is how your agent is going to get quality answers, give you quality answers by you giving it quality information to choose from, usually your own data in some form or fashion. Tools. This is how your agent is actually going to be able to take actions on your behalf. Before it gets tools, it's just some sort of large language model, an AI model that you give it input, and it might, based on information that it has, give you some sort of output. That's really just a chatbot. As soon as you introduce tools, now it can take actions on your behalf, call APIs, do other things with databases. Now it's an agent instead of just a chatbot. So how are you going to use tools? That's step 3. Step 4 is deployment. You can have some sort of agent in a Microsoft Foundry portal environment where you can play with it in a playground, but until people are able to take advantage of it, until it's available for use in some other medium, then it's not really deployed. So how do you actually deploy it? This is the 4th step. In order to quickly build an Azure AI agent, you have to be able to deploy it. So these are the 4 steps. Just before I give more details on these 4 steps, I want to make you aware of a program I'm offering at the time of recording. If you're someone who wants to get deep into Azure AI agents, either to build some sort of product or solution to save yourself time, your organization time, your customers time, or you just want to upskill for a promotion or a new job, then you might want to take a look at my Azure AI Agent Accelerator program. You can apply to join in 2 easy steps. Step 1. Click the link in the description to join the free Azure Innovation Station online community. When you get to the landing page, you can join the group by filling in some basic information. Step 2, once you're inside, then just apply to join the Azure AI Agent Accelerator program. By clicking this link, apply for the AI Agent Accelerator. Now back to the 4 steps to build Azure AI agents. Setting the foundations. This is where you need to first decide, do I need an Azure AI agent? Not all solutions require some sort of agent. It's easy to think right now in this world of AI that an agent is the silver bullet to everything. It's not true. You could just have some sort of deterministic solution that is some sort of software automation that is going to get done what you want to accomplish. You might not need an agent. Ask yourself, do I need some sort of solution that requires natural language or decision-making capabilities. You might be looking more at an agent if it requires those two in your solution. You're going to want to ask, what should my agent know? What type of data should it have access to? How do you want it to behave based on that data? Then, what should your agent actually take actions on? How do you want it to behave based on what it can take action on? Once you have your use case, you know the data that you're going to use, you know what it should do based on the actions it should take, you can combine all these to create your instructions or system message, which is how your agent should behave. This is how you guide it so that it performs the tasks, it responds based on the data, it actually accomplishes the solution that you're trying to achieve because of the way you're guiding it. Then you ask, how do I actually get started doing this? With Microsoft Foundry, there's two ways you can do this. If you're coming from more of a low code, no code in a background, then you might want to use the Microsoft Foundry portal. If you are a more experienced technology professional, you're more familiar with coding, then you might use a text editor, and you use the Microsoft Foundry SDK that uses C# or Python, and you can take advantage of the coding aspects to build your Azure AI agent. Knowledge. This is where you want to first ask, how am I going to use knowledge for my agent? Now, when you have some sort of AI model, you can add knowledge through two primary ways. You could use fine-tuning, or you could use Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Fine-tuning, in my opinion, it's very expensive, it takes a very long time, it's not always worth it, and it's more for edge cases where you want to have something that has a ton of data and is very, very quick and is very particular for some sort of industry special AI solution. But most of the time, I think RAG is more than enough for whatever you're trying to accomplish with an agent. So I always encourage students, just start with RAG, use that. Fine-tuning is an edge case that doesn't always need to be pursued. But you want to understand your knowledge options. And I'm really focusing on RAG here. There's file search. This is how you can take advantage of the simple file upload features and allow your people using an agent to upload files, or you just upload files as the person developing the agent. There's classic search, which is Microsoft's basic version on how you can query and retrieve information very quickly. That is all vectorized using a service called Azure AI Search. Agentic retrieval is the newer version of how information can be gathered from multiple data sources, and you can even use a large language model to determine how to query information across multiple knowledge sources to give the best type of answers back to your agent as quickly as possible. This is also called Foundry IQ, if you've heard or seen that term before. And then there's memory. How can you remember information across multiple sessions, either the sessions themselves as summaries or user preferences even. So this is also a feature that is using RAG. All of these use Azure AI Search behind the scenes. So a pro tip is, if you're building Azure AI agents and you're going to use some sort of Retrieval-Augmented Generation or knowledge or data, you kind of want to know how Azure AI Search works. So just a pro tip, you want to dig into that. Tools. Now we're getting into how our agent actually becomes a real agent and not just a chatbot. First, you want to know, what tools am I going to use? You might know the actions you want to take, but you need to know how do those actions translate into something that can actually be given to your agent. And those are the tools. In the Microsoft Foundry portal, if you go there, you'll see there's over 1,500 tools. That's a lot. It's very overwhelming, but I've boiled it down to about 5 different kinds of tools. If you can understand these 5 different kinds of tools, you're good to go. Code interpreter is the first one. This is how your agent can do math. It can analyze data. It can write code. It can create graphs and charts based on that data. Web search, pretty self-explanatory. Give your agent the ability to search the web, get information, give it back as context so that it can respond based on that additional context. Browser automation, give your agent the ability to augment or manage or use a browser, fill out forms, take actions, things like that. MCP server, model context protocol, is the new popular way that all agents are able to communicate with different types of software solutions or a large group of APIs. You can use MCP servers with your agent as all kinds of different tools. Custom API. If there isn't an MCP server for some set of APIs or a particular API, you can create your own custom API as a tool that your agent can use. The first three, code interpreter, web search, browser automation, these are all pre-configured tools that you can take advantage of within Microsoft Foundry. They're kind of out of the box, making it quick and easy. Browser automation has a little bit more setup, but for the most part, they're all very easily configurable. MCP servers, custom APIs, these are more of your custom solutions. If you're going to build some sort of solution that requires certain functionality, you might want to use an MCP server that could already exist, but you also might need to build your own. And the custom API, you're usually building your own because there isn't an MCP server or other custom API endpoints to take advantage of for that. Deployment is your last step to quickly building Azure AI agents. You need to make it available. How do you do this? There's two ways you can do this with Microsoft Foundry today. There's the M365 Copilot deployment method and then the code deployment. M365 Copilot requires M365 Copilot licenses, but it's a very quick, just a couple clicks within the Microsoft Foundry portal, very low code, very easy to do, and you can deploy your agent as an M365 Copilot agent and start using it immediately, internally for your organization or just for yourself. The code deployment path, this is where you'll have to decide, am I going to use a template or build something from scratch, because you are going to have to get into the code for this. And when you're building some sort of code deployment solution to make your agent available, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a front-end application and a back-end application. And then you'll have your AI agent that exists in Microsoft Foundry. Your front-end application, that's what you see. It's what people see as the visual that's on a mobile app, a web app, a desktop app. Your back-end app is what's taking advantage of calling Microsoft Foundry to use your agent, and it's your secure server that hosts API keys. It's safe, it's reliable, it's usually on some sort of server in a cloud environment like App Service or Azure Functions or an Azure Container App, something like that. All of these together make your complete Azure AI solution. You've got your front-end application, your back-end application, and your Azure AI agent all together. When you have these set and someone can actually use your Azure AI agent, now you have a complete deployed solution. Those are the 4 steps to build Azure AI agents. If you follow them, you'll be building Azure AI agents in no time. But if you do want more, if you're somebody who would get stuck or want clarity on those 4 steps, you want a structured path to build an Azure AI agent in 4 weeks or less, if you're somebody who wants demos, templates, decision-making frameworks to help you decide what RAG method should I use for my solution? Do I even need an Azure AI agent to solve this particular problem that I'm trying to solve? What types of tools do I need? If you are someone who wants live Q&A support or one-on-one personalized guidance for your particular Azure AI agent use case, you want to see how an agent can be built either from a low-code perspective in the Microsoft Foundry portal or from a pro-code perspective with code examples in a text editor, then you just need to take these 2 steps in the description, hit that link to join the free Azure Innovation Station online community, and step 2, apply to join the Azure AI Agent Accelerator program, and we'll see if you qualify to join. Now, super important note, only 10 people will be admitted to the program. I work one-on-one with each student in this Accelerator program, and I can't offer that to everyone widely because frankly, my time is just limited. So I can only work with 10 people since I'm working with them one-on-one. So it's limited to 10 people, and the program starts May 4th of 2026. So at the time of recording, if it's past that, I'm sorry, maybe there's a future cohort, but right now at the time of recording, it's available. There are spots still open. So take a look at that, follow those 2 steps, and you can see if you qualify. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I answer every question to help as many people as I can. If this video was helpful for you, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. As always, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.